Come
Ready?
on.
On the 4.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we're on. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Almost Grown Up, the podcast where it's two best friends talking some shit, and you're here to enjoy it. What's up, Camille?
What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Not much. I'm
man,
sort of
I'm
getting
having one of those days, bro.
What's one of those
It's
days?
just, you know, when you just forget shit all over the place,
All over the house.
and you just, wow, more than just all over the house, all over the fucking city, more like.
Wow, what did you forget and why?
So going to the studio in the morning, had to record some shit. I was like, yeah, cool, got this, got that, yeah, cool, no worries. Got here, I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot my Mac charger, didn't I? Like, the most important thing for recording, the Mac, because it was dead. Oh, so I had to go all the way back, went all the way back, bombed it back.
How far are we talking, though?
Well, usually with traffic, it's like 40 minutes one way, half an hour one way. But because it's lockdown, there's no fucker on the road. So I did both trips in half an hour.
So
Smashed it.
not too bad. Were you breaking
Yeah,
your
only
speed
lost
limits?
half an hour.
Breaking
but-
the law.
So that's detour number 1.
Right.
Sort of did that. Yeah, cool, no problem. And then went back home, taught some students, which was all cool. Yeah, no worries. And I was like, cool, I'm going to go back to the studio. So, you know, we can do this. We can record. And guess what? I forgot.
Your student?
I forgot my headphones.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking fun. But luckily, I found some headphones here, and it kind of just about works. So, yeah. So it wasn't a total failure today. So
I feel like that's a case of it being a lot worse at the time, but when you just told the story, that didn't really seem too bad.
yeah, probably everyone's probably listening, going, "Fuck, you complaining about?"
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I was one of those people too. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it was annoying at the time. Just like, oh,
Yeah,
Put you in a
like
bad mood.
You stubbed your toe. You didn't break a leg. Put it that way.
yeah, pretty much. But you know, it's still annoying to stub your toe.
It's an inconvenience.
Depends how hard you stub it. That shit can hurt.
Just make the whole thing recoil back into your heel.
Ooh, oh, that's not as worse as stepping on Lego though. That's
That
fucking
or a
awful.
plug.
I think Lego's worse, bro.
I've never actually stepped on Lego. I just know that it's I don't know. Would you call it a meme? It's just a thing that people talk about online, and I'm like, never done it. But
Oh,
alright.
really?
Yeah.
What, like comparing
Uh,
Lego standing
I'm the
stories?
youngest in the house, so I don't think that there was anyone to leave Lego around that I would step on by accident, because I know where I left it.
So you were the evil one.
Inconsiderate. Let's go with that. Evil's a little too far.
All right, cool.
or oblivious. I've been having a super weird day. I've actually got like the week off work, so I've literally got nothing but my own motivation to keep me in some sort of routine, and I'm quite enjoying just having some spare time to chill, because usually when you're working from home and stuff, you've got like, you know, it's very easy to work longer than you need to because you haven't got to deal with the commute. So like, I could just work a few, you know, hours longer.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, I gotta have a hard stop at 6 o'clock, even though I'm meant to finish at 5:30ish. And then I work out sort of out in my garden now, so I have to do it when the light's still out.
Sure.
So I've got till about, call it 8. But then obviously I need to sleep early, and eat. So it's just like a non-stop. I've never relaxed. I'm always looking to do the next thing, and it feels like you're constantly in a rush. So I'm enjoying having to sort of not having to rush to my next activity, but that means I sort of stay there, I don't know, playing video games or something like PS4 for an extra hour or two at night, end up sleeping, I don't know, 12, 1, which means I wake up late, and I'm trying to maybe not go downstairs and eat, because obviously when you ever like boredom eat, like, you know you're not hungry.
Always. Yeah.
But yeah, exactly, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to boredom eat, so then I'll just sit up in bed and play some PS4, and another 2 or 3 hours go by. And I'm like, okay, now it's like fucking 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's just like it's a weird spiral of just, you know, not being productive, and it's kind of bugging me, because I know I'm meant to be on holiday and relaxing, but I started to get a workout in today, and then obviously we wanted to record this. So yeah, I just feel like a really fat, lazy lump, and I'm not enjoying it. Even though I know
Do you
it's
feel
my
like-
time to like relax.
Do you feel like it will be hard to get back into the routine when you go back?
No, not at all. I
No.
just because I know it has to be done, so there's you can't make any like no bones about it. Just shut up and get on with it. Whereas I know I don't have to work out. I just know I should.
Mhm.
You know, that's something I always find interesting. And people who complain about like, oh, I'm not in shape, but it's like, well, you didn't work out, so shut up. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you've only got yourself to blame at that point.
Yeah.
Really.
They're like, oh, I find it so hard to get up and do it. I'm like, yeah, but you could literally get better at anything just by turning up. Doesn't even mean you have to be feeling it.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a good thing where so I'm like not an imperfectionist. I am a perfectionist. And I'm trying to be more.
Fuck stuff up.
Well, no, because I'm trying to be more of an imperfectionist, and it's just one of those like mentalities. Why are you trying to FaceTime me, bro?
Am I? Sorry.
Yeah. This-
How do I?
It doesn't matter. Just
How do I
leave
turn it
It'll
off?
go away.
If I press N,
I
will it
don't
end the
know.
whole conversation?
Oh, I better not. Just leave it. Just leave it.
No, because fuck. I've actually locked my
It's fine.
screen. Has it gone away?
No, it's still here. I can still see me. It's fine.
Can you?
Oh yeah, it's gone away. Yeah,
Alright,
we're good.
cool.
We're good. We're good.
Sorry,
Sorry, guys.
I didn't mean to look at your face. I
I was
mean,
like, who fuck's calling me now? But anyways,
yeah. Sorry. You're trying to be more of an imperfectionist, which I don't think is a thing, but I like that you've made it a thing.
so I don't. Yeah, so you don't like overthink things, and you just get on with it. You just do it, right?
I hope you're
and
aware
a
of the
good.
paradox you've created there, right?
Oh yeah, whatever.
You're trying to actively think about not being an overthinker.
Well, yeah, but this is where you have certain methods, like the one I'm just about to go into.
Okay.
They're called mini habits. So again, it's like, people do the standard thing where you look at a task and you go, oh, it's just big. Like there's just lots to do.
Yeah.
or you always sort of look at the end result and where you want to be. But
Yeah, naturally,
obviously
yeah.
you don't really think about the process, or you don't even just start the process, which obviously is
Mm-hmm.
more important. So you always set yourself up to this like you just set yourself this really high unachievable standard, which obviously is
Yeah.
stupid, and then that's why a lot of people don't get stuff done. And yeah, like these mini habits, going off of what you were saying, is rather than going, oh fuck, I got to do a workout, or oh I just can't bother to go work out, just do one press up. Like doing one press up is better than doing no press ups.
It's very true.
And then chances are when you just get into it, like you don't have to do more, but chances are when you start one, you're going to do at least 10. You're going to be like, yeah, fuck it. It's like, it takes 15 seconds to do 10 press ups. I mean, it might take some people more, whatever. It might take you 30 seconds
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
10 press ups or even longer. It doesn't really matter. You do one and you go, cool, I've done that. Tick. And then if you want to do more, you can, but there's no pressure. Or like, practicing piano or guitar, you pick it up, you go, right, I'm just going to.
Just putting the hours in, but I think people sort of don't appreciate that. It's just a repetition that you need.
Yeah. Because that's what makes habits, That's why you
Yeah.
start off incrementally, like really, really small. But even that, it just takes a while to kind of trick your brain into actually doing that. Because then naturally, my mindset is I try to do that, and then I'd be like, yeah, but I'm only trying to do it to trick myself. And it's like, well, you failed already. Like, as soon as
Did you
think
ever
like
have that thing ages ago? Because what you're talking about sounds a lot like that thing where if you catch yourself thinking something, you have to say out loud. It's like, the game. It's like, it was this thing on the
Oh,
internet when just like, you are now playing the game. If you think about the game, you've lost the game. And every time you do, you have to say, I lost the game wherever you are out loud.
Oh.
And, obviously I just lost the game. So,
Well, yeah, but that's like me telling you don't think about pandas.
God, elephants. This is so difficult. Oh, fuck it, I thought about pandas. You got me.
There you go. See? It's just dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I just been like, kind of listening to a bunch of audiobooks, all that self-help stuff.
So speaking of books, right? I got this someone on my Instagram posted a story and she was like, let's start a book club. If you're interested, just DM me. And it's basically meant to be like a big chain of people doing it. So
Right.
I was like, yeah, cool. Sounds interesting. And so basically what it is, let me read you out the message because it was, I mean, it confused the fuck out of me.
It's
So,
not some shady invitation, is it?
no, so, oh, damn it. It means I have to read her message. All right, fuck it anyway. So it goes, yay, welcome to the book exchange. Now, this is what you do. You only need to send one book you love to the below address. Your stranger is, and I'm obviously not going to read her address, so puts that person's address, and it goes, please do add a note with your name and a message with the book, or on the inside if you already own it, which was completely pointless. They didn't have to put that in. So people who know, people who, what the fuck? So people who know who. Okay, I've only just realized it's really badly typed out. So I think she went to say, so people know who and where their book is from. That's probably what they meant. The book doesn't have to be a collector's item. Secondhand is fine too, or it would be nice if you could order from your favorite local bookshop to help support small businesses. Finally, repost the original message to your story, send this message to the people who message you, and give them my address at the top in place of that person I just won't repeat.
Right, I'll be honest. I'm
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, exactly, right? I had to, although I think now reading it out loud, I've just understood it. So
Maybe you should have done that the first time.
no, I did that. I did that.
Oh,
But I think,
what, you just, and then I should.
yeah, literally. So, okay, then those who comment on your friend's message, surely be my message. We'll send you books too. Oh no!
Wait,
no.
where are these books coming from? Hang on, what?
Well, because I only send one, and then it's basically a
Yeah.
big chain. So I post it on my story, being like, "Hey, do you want to join a book club? DM me."
Ah.
And then whoever DMs me saying, "Yeah, I'm down," I send them this message, I think, and I put this
Right.
person's address at the top where that stranger's address was.
Uh-huh.
So, and then I put my address where her address is. So I become the next person's stranger.
Are you smart?
I didn't make this up, and also,
No, you're smart for working it out. It's like decoding.
yeah, clearly this book club is only for intelligent people who can decipher absolute gibberish. So, sick. I'm in.
Count me out.
First rule about book club is you don't understand what the fuck book club is about. Oh god. But this is like
Kind of goes against the whole reading a book to learn. Like, no, this is the opposite, bitch.
yeah, it's like Fight Club, right?
This is not.
You can't talk about it. Yeah. Well, do you know what? This is good. The podcast has done something productive for me. I've actually understood what I meant to do. Now I'm trying to think of a book that I would send to that person. Thing is, though, from what it looks like, that message was from a girl, and my stranger was also a girl. So I suspect I'm going to get some very feminine reading, and I'm going to give them some really gritty stuff that male readers will probably enjoy. Because the first book I'm thinking of is either A Child Called It or A Million Little Pieces. And both of those are pretty much about one's about child abuse. It's from the kid who was abused. Because it's his account of everything, like from growing up. And A Million Little Pieces is about, it's literally written really cool. It's like a stream of consciousness. So it's not written as long, beautiful sentences. It's just thoughts. It's really cool.
Oh, cool.
Like if you look at the page, there's lots of blank space and lots of, line breaks, and it's just really disjointed. But if you read it, it really gets across the mentality and the sort of headspace that drug addict is in. And it's about
Damn.
sort of recovery and rehab. He's in and out, and disappointing his family members and all that kind of stuff. It's a really good book. But I'm expecting. Well, I don't know what I'm expecting back. Actually, I should probably do this. Sounds good. I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, do it, man.
People have been so creative, in this lockdown period, which is going into phase 1 of whatever the opposite of lockdown is on Monday, which is 6 days from now, because it is Tuesday. Did you hear the speech, the Boris Johnson, the BJ speech?
Do you know what? I kind of listened to it in just in little waves, because everyone was just like, that made no sense.
Yeah, Matt Lucas from Little Britain did an impression of it, because he's a yeah but no but guy.
Oh yeah.
And he literally, so the thing is, I just found it funny. I've only asked you because I've not heard the speech. I just read what the phases were.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've still got to find it on YouTube and understand what everyone's saying, but I've sort of heard everyone's opinion on it, like you have too.
Yeah.
What do you think about it from what you've heard?
Um, it sounds kind of indecisive. I'll be honest. I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of trying to put together some sort of plan just to obviously try and get back to normal, but they're not really being very clear about it. And then they had like a debate. I think it was this morning. I just sort of just walked into the room and my folks are watching it. And this dude was like opposing the BJ, and he was just like, okay, but you said you can go to work or whatever, following guidelines. But
Yeah.
they didn't release these guidelines, and it's like, well, hang on, well, how are you supposed to enforce something? Or do you know what I mean? Like, it just
How do you
was a
follow
bit
it? Isn't
like,
there?
yeah, it was a bit of a half-assed approach where they didn't really follow up, or they just probably didn't have everything ready, or maybe they just like didn't think everything through, or I don't know, something
Well,
slipped or got lost.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It seems really odd. Like, have you heard all these conspiracy theories about 5G things? Have you heard these?
Oh man, that's dumb. Yeah, I've not recently, but like the last 2-3 weeks ago, there was like a little blast on Facebook.
I didn't go on
But
Facebook.
I've not really heard anything since.
But the next best thing, which is, my parents. so
Yeah.
I think neither of my parents have Facebook, but my dad was saying about how he's seen online, which good as good as Facebook, that they're putting all these 5G masts up because it's obviously I think it's like higher frequencies, high frequency long wavelength, right? Yeah. No, is that right?
Oh, dude, I watched a video on this the other day, like how 5G works. So basically, it covers a wider spectrum of frequencies because obviously, like say you're you're using 4G, right?
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of bandwidth in between. Like there's only a certain amount of frequencies that are available, and a lot of them are already allocated. Like you need a specific amount for the military. You need a specific amount for air traffic control. You need a specific amount for consumer or whatever. It's like 12 different categories, and then because there's so many more people, it just gets all used up. So there's none really available. That's why like signal drops and things kind of get
makes sense.
Yeah, you lose connection and stuff. So I think with 5G, it's just that next step of like creating more channels, really.
Yeah, although everything you said rings a bell because I actually had Verizon. I had them come into my work because they were like a potential media owner that we work with. They explained it because I think they're going to be one of the first moving to 5G in the UK.
Cool.
So I should probably know that, but I clearly did not listen in that meeting. So sorry. What's his name? Max. That's where you go. Sorry, Max, if you're listening. I did not listen to you. But
you're going to pay attention from now on.
But to my boss, please give me a promotion because I want to get paid.
Give me that raise, son.
So hopefully none of my work lot listen to this podcast.
But I heard, so when I was watching this video, it's just little things that come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously, there's quite a few different technological advancements between 4G and 5G.
Yeah.
But it does it where it kind of, I think it breaks each of the frequencies down into like little groups so that it kind of makes more available in like a certain area. So say like there's I don't know, a high street full of 1,000 people. Rather than creating 1,000 different sort of individual frequencies for those people, it kind of breaks one frequency up into like groups, I think.
Right.
I might be fucking that up completely. But
that's fine. I like the conjecture.
It's something to do with like grouping things together, and sort of spreading them out.
Okay.
Something, I don't know. I ain't a fucking engineer.
But yeah, there's something about how it's going to cause radiation or whatever. It's back to the conspiracy theory thing.
That's bollocks because 5G, like where it sits in the
spectrum,
is actually pretty much less radioactive than daylight.
Radioactive, or that's different.
Not radioactive, but like I'm talking about radioactive in terms of like harmful. Like obviously on one side you've got gamma rays. Yeah, less radiation in terms of like it just won't do any damage. Like sunlight, you can get burnt. There is, there what is it gamma? No, what's in sunlight that gives sunburn?
I God, this took me back to A-level physics. I don't fucking know, man.
God. Is it camera? UV light.
I can just hear Miss Billamori screaming. She taught both of us.
You idiots! Yeah. Sorry for our lack of knowledge.
She was like, "Oh, my son's a radiographer. You should go and check it out." And I bet if she heard this podcast, she'd be like, "Thank fuck, he did not become a radiographer." I'll X-ray you. Just fucking takes a picture. Takes a picture of a fucking desk or something. Oh, I saw this meme where this kid got X-rayed. I say kid, is this girl, woman rather, and it's like, this is how my mum found out I had my nipples pierced, because they put her X-ray up,
mad.
and there were just 2 piercings, and she was like, "What are those?"
Isn't that what's that Jackass film where I think Steve-O, like, did he like swallow something?
Oh, the toy car up the butt.
Oh, that was it, and he got like X-rays.
Oh, that reminded me. So when I got going back to Miss Billamori and her son.
Sorry, by the way, Miss Billamori is our old science teacher, guys.
Yeah. So a teacher. I think she also taught me some other stuff too.
That
sounds really dodgy, but that's not what I meant. Oh, I derailed myself. Right, so she was like, "Go check out my son at his." It's not getting any better, is it? At his hospital, he's a radiographer. He can show you around. You can see what it's about. I was like, "Cool." So I had like a full day going around this hospital with like a pass, so I could like experience different parts of doing that job. And so you get to this one bit, and then the radiographers are like, "Do you want to see something funny?" I was like, "All right, cool." They're like, "So this is basically a backlog of previous X-rays," and so obviously they didn't show me any of the people's names or anything like that. They just showed me the pictures of their X-rays. So there was this one, and it had batteries in it.
Batteries?
Yeah, so there were batteries in this guy's pelvis.
What the fuck?
And I was like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "It was a vibrator."
Oh, of course.
Got them stuck up there somehow. So the Jackass toy car thing reminded me of that.
Yeah. I bet people have got some mad things lodged up in there, man.
I remember seeing this news story ages ago. Like, I mean, like when I was a kid, like, I don't know,
some good memory.
10, 12. Well, when you hear the story, it'll stick out to you too.
Oh, okay.
So it was on BBC News, and then they showed the X-ray, and this guy had 7 9-inch nails in his skull, and he was just living. And he went to the doctor complaining about headaches. Yeah, man.
How do you not notice?
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, did this guy fucking deserve to be dead? Just for being stupid?
He deserves a medal, is what he fucking deserves.
Because he needs more metal.
What? Yeah, but he's still gonna like jam it in his skull.
So this one can go around your neck. Now don't put it in your head.
No. Oh.
He's like, "Oh, I thought I was meant to do." Guys, my head hurts. Like, yeah, because you got fucking nails in it, you dipshit.
You just got like a fucking nail gun stuck out.
It was actually a nail gun. He was a construction worker, and I was like, surely when it went in, you would have been like,
9.
I should no 7 9-inch nails. The fact that I even remember the numbers, I watch it when someone actually goes and tries to check this out,
like,
and it's actually wrong. But the point is,
my dad's in construction, and I've seen him use one of those guns. There's a fucking jolt that you get from using it, because you have to. It's not like you can't just fire it in the air like a gun. You need to apply pressure to like this little plastic clip. Yeah,
sorry,
it doesn't do that. You have to apply pressure to like this plastic clip, which then releases some sort of mechanism, and then it lets it fire the nail. So obviously you have to press it up against a bit of wood, and then it will let it fire, right? But it's like it's quite a.
So he must have
jolt.
Pressed it against his skull.
Yeah, you have to have it pressed up again, unless you, I don't know, fuck it up completely and like, you know, rewire it or some shit. But
also like the sheer pain of that, it must have made like an entry wound.
Wait, hang on, 9-inch nails.
No, yeah, so 7 9-inch nails.
Yeah, but so they must have been at some like super like jaunty angle, because obviously anything...
Yeah, they were like going down. So yeah, I remember seeing that X-ray and being like, how the fuck is this possible? Like, how is he alive?
Yeah.
And also, like, it would have been long enough for the wounds to heal and for it to just stay there.
Oh, yeah.
And also, like,
that's weird.
I don't know, I'd be embarrassed to go to the hospital and complain about a headache, knowing that at some point in my life, I fucking stuck nails in my head and they're still there. They didn't come out. it's not like a splinter where your skin will renew itself and just kind of wash it out eventually. It's not a splinter. It's a fucking nail, and it's like the length of my skull. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be embarrassed to be like, oh, I got a headache. Imagine that. Imagine if he
I had
was
this
like,
headache for like 20 years. I just can't seem to
imagine
get
if
rid
they
of
were
it.
like, yeah, go home, rest, take a paracetamol. People are like,
Yeah,
nah, this is serious, man. I need an
No,
X-ray.
no.
Dude, that's proof, right? That issue happened years ago when the NHS was still funded to a point where they could give people an X-ray when they needed. Now it would literally just be rest and take a paracetamol.
Yeah, I just hope that if anything, like after this all, Corona thing,
Yeah,
that the NHS actually get some more funding.
like fuck, they will. No way.
I'd like to think they would, just so that the higher ups kind of go, okay, we clearly weren't prepared for this. We should probably have some measures in place, and with measures in place, you need budgets in place. So fuck knows what's going to happen with that, man. Bit of a weird thing.
Yeah, although seeing how blatant all the fuck ups are and how just obvious it is that they were unprepared, it makes you think, if you can engineer wars, if the country's come this far, then surely none of that was by accident. Like, none of this is by accident. It's that they're all aware of what's happening. They're just
They're just slow to react.
Yeah, but also it's not slow to react. It's knowing exactly what's happened and giving off the impression that you're slow to react, but you're still trying to do everything in everyone's best interest. But the fact of the matter is, they don't have the general population's best interest in mind. That doesn't benefit them. Which reminds you, going back to the conspiracy theory thing, this vaccination that's going to come out, there's thoughts about the vaccination basically being a microchipping method.
Fuck off.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's not so implausible. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's totally doable. And also, if they make it, like, it's had a big enough scare to shut down a country, several countries, almost the whole world for at least like a month and a half around the world, right?
Yeah.
So they have every right to go, it's now compulsory. Like, there's no other way around it. You have to do it. And how do we know, like, who's... Like, there's definitely going to be some big pharmaceutical producing this vaccine or patenting it somehow or the other. There's probably going to be various different versions of it. And, the government is always funded by big companies like those, for example, to push their agenda.
Yeah.
And so now, they basically track us all the time anyway with our phones. But now some people might not have that on. Some people might actually just, with GDPR might not have consented to everything. So they've got maybe 80%, maybe 90% of the population. But if you chip everyone, then they know where you are no matter what. It's like, when things got a half-life of however long, they just know where you are. And I think it's fully... I kind of believe it, like, just because it seems like the way things are going anyway. Because now it's like, well, we need to keep track of you. Like, why? Just in case you're traveling too far, wherever you are.
Nah, but that encroaches on like freedom of movement and just like actual
about that.
Human rights. Yeah, but I mean, you can't really kind of go against that, really.
Why not?
Well, because it's a human right. You can't just go against rights. Like, you can release vaccines and you can do all this sort of stuff, but you can't make that compulsory. It's just like, it's just privacy law, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's also a lot of things that you can't do in inverted commas. You can't do this, can't do that, but the government have done it.
Yeah, but
so what's to say this is any different? This is the thing that people don't really realize or have a hard time coming to terms with, is that in the grand scheme of thing, how helpless you really are. Because
no, I get that totally.
Yeah, like that's why I'm sort of like, I'm not that shocked if it happens. Like, it wouldn't even surprise me. Maybe I'm just being really, really negative and like pessimistic, but yeah, that's like one of the conspiracy theories that sort of stuck with me, because I was like, you know what, we are literally moving towards 1984. Like, Big Brother is for sure happening.
That's mad, bro.
On the flip side of things, I mean, I don't do anything illegal, so like, yeah, fine, track me. You're gonna see my same patterns, like, go to see my friends, go to work, go to the gym, maybe go traveling to a regular country that everyone else has gone to. But at the same time, there's some other shit about how they can replicate your DNA from that or some shit like that. So they can then put you in a place where you weren't. So that's why there's all these things about, you know, these companies like 23andMe and where you can do like your ancestry and shit. Like you give them like
Oh yeah.
So you give them like a like a sample of your DNA, or like you prick your finger or whatever. It'll be written in the fine print somewhere. I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I was talking to my sister about this, and you know, she is a research scientist, and she was like, just don't get into it, because there'll be in the fine print somewhere that they have the right to share your data and your DNA or whatever. So once they can, you know, sequence and repeat things, which they can already do. Like they can make
DNA sequencing is real.
Yeah, like it's already a thing. So if they can replicate it and then somehow put you somewhere where you weren't, then you're fucked, because you can say, you know, oh, I didn't murder this man. Not that they'd frame me for that or whatever, but you know, hypothetically speaking, if they say, oh, we have proof you're there, and I'm like, well, I wasn't, because I have like so and so many alibis. They're like, yeah, but look at this. And then your DNA is in the fucking murder weapon or in the murder scene or whatever.
Yeah,
then you're fucked.
That's the problem. Yeah, man.
And I realize that anyone who doesn't really know me is going to be like, this guy's a fucking kook, like conspiracy theorist. But we
do love a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and not because, you know, I'm saying it is going to happen, but I'm saying that it's not implausible. It's very likely when you look at.
Yeah,
I sound like Eddie Bravo. Look into it. But yeah, it's I think the conspiracy theories that are coming out of this are partly exacerbated because people are in a negative mind frame because their government, or they feel as though the government has let them down. So it's very easy to be, oh, you know, woe is me, the world is against me, and you know, so you come up with all these, you know, far-fetched somewhat ideas.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it, but also that I feel like there's a certain amount of plausibility to them. So I'm always down for a conspiracy theory, man. I find it really interesting. I was watching, I can't remember what I was watching, but it was like about the Pentagon on. It's really weird. When I wanted to say Pentagon, I didn't say it as the Americans say it, so then therefore it didn't sound like a building, it sounded like a shape. Do you know what I mean? The Pentagon. Then you know I'm talking about that building. Whereas if I just say the Pentagon, you're like, why are you referring to a shape as a the?
A 5-sided shape, yeah.
Anyway, I digress. You know, on 9/11 when there were three planes that crashed? Because there was...
Well, technically 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, because there was Tower 1, 2, and Building 7.
But there was that one that went down in the...
And then the one in the Pentagon, right? So that's 4.
No, but then one crashed in a field because the passengers fought off the terrorists and crashed it into the ground. So there were 4, I think.
That's 5.
But Building 7 just...
this is a whole...
Just caught fire. It just caught fire randomly with a bunch of like
that. Yeah, and when you look at the footage,
in.
it goes down in the middle and looks exactly like a controlled demolition.
Well, yeah, they all went down that way, innit? But again, that's another fucking subject,
that's a whole other topic podcast on this.
Yeah. Well, a whole fucking series of podcasts, really.
Yeah, but I feel like we need to come armed with like facts and stats. But
yeah, well, we're just 2 idiots, kind of trying to recall, like, oh yeah, didn't they do that thing? Yeah, they did. Yeah. What happened? Yeah, I don't know. They did it. Cool. Next subject. Well informed.
Could you imagine if someone tries to educate their children and they give them this podcast? They'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
No. Well, this is like the equivalent of going on Facebook to catch up on news.
Oh, don't give us that much credit.
Yeah.
No, as in we're definitely better than Facebook. I feel like we're a more well-rounded view. Facebook is just recently full of lots of racists. I've noticed that. It's really weird. Like on my friends list, there's some people who come across with some really like bigoted views, and I'm like, I really shouldn't be friends with you, but you can't just keep them on just because you're like, how deep does this rabbit hole in your brain go? Yeah, exactly. You know. Sort of like morbid curiosity, but it's also quite depressing because, you know, me being a colored person, I'm sort of like, why the hell are you friends with me? Why?
Yeah.
Like, do you realize, are you colorblind or, well, obviously not, because they seem to have that racist bone in them. But yeah, going back to the Pentagon thing, so they were trying to work out, basically that the building or the part of the building that got hit was the accounting part of it. So they were trying to figure out where all of this money had gone, and I think it was to do with like Donald Rumsfeld, who'd resigned from his company He'd basically just resigned from some huge company. Is it Halibut or something like that? I think that was the name of it. But he resigned from them, and then I think after that, immediately they got like lots of like contracts to it, and essentially
Yeah.
what was happening. This is like around the time of the Iraq War, I think, or the Afghanistan. Well, it was right after 9/11.
Yeah.
But basically, he was then appointed by Bush, and it's just weird how, going back to what we were talking about earlier, how you think this stuff just can't happen because it's just wrong. It's just wrong, and you take your own sort of morality into that situation, but you kind of forget
Yeah.
as soon as you go into government, that goes out the window. Like your morals are in the back seat,
Yeah.
and then subsequently
last.
kicked out the back seat. They're out the window.
Yeah, basically ejected.
Yeah, exactly.
James Bond style.
Yeah, like you can't get anywhere, and I get it. Like have you watched House of Cards? No, you haven't, because if I can watch anything,
Nah,
watch
I don't
it,
watch
man.
any TV. Man.
Kevin Spacey before he got done for being a bit of a perv,
Bit of a bad man, yeah.
bad man.
But not like, yeah.
Oh right,
Yeah,
no,
like
not
a
like- not
bad
like-
man. Not like a bad man. No, he's a bad man.
hang on a minute, what's going on? I've got so many voice notes on my phone. I need to get rid of that.
Yeah, get rid of that.
I feel like we've sort of gone on a tangent here.
Yeah, I feel like this is a good point to stop. Because otherwise we just keep going.
I feel like we should stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Bye.
That was quick.
That's what she said.
Yeah, be sure to if you like this episode, guys, we'll hopefully be having it like a weekly thing going. This is episode 2, hopefully of many. And yeah, follow us on all the socials, all that sort of stuff. On Instagram, we are almost.grownup. Yeah, if you like what you hear, check out some more. Peace.